And thanks again to all of our speakers today. It's really exciting hearing some of the different research going on a wide range of different species from the southern end to the northern end of our ACT network footprint. So yeah, we wanted to take some time here at the end, and we may go, until a little after 12, maybe 10 or 15 minutes after 12 for folks who want to stay on, but wanted to open it up for people who want to provide updates on new projects, updates on their arrays. We'll try to keep them to a couple minutes each, so everyone who wants to has a chance. I'll just mention from my lab group at Smithsonian, we have a new project, hopefully starting later this month, that'll be tagging alewife in the Choptank River in Chesapeake Bay. We're hoping to tag about 50 alewife to look at how they're moving on and off the spawning grounds in the Choptank River, but then really hoping to get some detections from out in the ocean somewhere to see, to take a first look at connectivity from the Choptank River alewife spawning run out to the offshore habitat. Yeah, that's I think that's one of the two new things in our lab. The second one is that we have a new project with Nathan Fury at University of New Hampshire that's going to be synthesizing a lot of our telemetry data on a range of species, from sharks to horseshoe crabs and lots of things in between in the Chesapeake region, to look at different opportunities for translating those types of telemetry data that you get from species with different life histories for management purposes. So if you want to share an update on your array, probably the easiest way is if you turn on your camera and raise your hand, and then I can call on folks.
Hi, Matt. This is Jim Hawks. My camera is having some issues, so I guess I'll just speak up here.
Go for it.
Some of you know me from the work that myself and folks at NOAA Fisheries do up in Maine, doing Atlantic salmon smolt research. We have a telemetry array in Penobscot Estuary. We have receivers attached to oceanographic buoys out in the Gulf of Maine, and we've shared a lot of data with folks. I just wanted to introduce a new project that I'm working with folks at NOAA, Mass, DMF, including Greg Scomo, who gave a great talk just a second ago. But it's an ecosystem project that we're working on, which is really focused on the Stellwagen MPA. We're tagging a variety of species of mammals, birds, fish, and turtles, using a variety of technologies, including acoustic tags. So some of the animals that we're tagging with acoustic tags, are contributed to the ACT Dropbox, and I just wanted to let folks know that we're initiating the activities with this, and we're looking to get as much coverage as we can with our acoustic receivers, utilizing existing sites that Greg highlighted, as well as others within the Gulf of Maine and Stellwagen north of Cape Cod Bay and Cape Cod. So I just if folks just continue to share those orphan transmitters, we'll be in pretty good shape. And if anyone has specific information that they'd like to share, I'll put my email in the chat about receiver locations in and around Stellwagen. That'd be great. So thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jim. I think Chris Hager wanted to share an update, or he's in the chat, but Chris,
right. I'll share an update only in that the U.S. Navy has totally withdrawn its arrays, so we are no longer in Hampton Roads. And maybe when DoD gets some more funding, then maybe some of that will rebuild. But that's kind of the state of affairs now. So Norfolk Naval Station is no longer being monitored.
Thanks.
If I may, to that end, up down here at VMRC, we put our array across the mouth of the bay, and at least have covered that much. We have a few more to deploy this spring to fully close off that gate, but that project is going well. And we have some funding available. We're going to hopefully get some transmitters out into cobia and striped bass this summer.
Great. Thanks, Ethan.
Hey, Matt, this is Pat McGrath of VIMS.
Hey, Pat.
We've got a very small project working on bowfin and snakeheads in the Piankatank / Dragon Run system. So I don't think we'll pick up too many other people's receivers or other people's tags, but if a wayward striped bass or an alewife comes up the Piankatank and the Dragon Run, will let you know.
Kim, I feel like we have a fairly quiet bunch this morning,
We do.
where everyone's still figuring out what they're going to be doing this summer.
Or they've all just left and are already eating lunch.
That's
Or
possible.
I bet they're just scrambling to get all their data together because they're going to work on it this afternoon. That's what I think.
That must be it. Anyone else want to give an update?
Hey, this is Ben Gagan from SDMF. As long as we're talking about alewife, I need to get the tags uploaded for this push, but I did tag another 90 this past summer. So hopefully folks in the Massachusetts, New England, and Canadian Maritimes will keep an eye out for those. That's kind of where I've seen them go in the past.
That's great. So you're getting some decent detections offshore, or some anyway?
A few, smaller tags. Yeah, a few. More than the shad I tagged, for sure. And yeah, but I dropped you a direct message, Matt. I think that, and anybody else who's planning to or is going to tag alewife or blueback herring, I think it'd be great if we use this organization as a vehicle to pool our resources, because it's not like stripers or sturgeon or anything like that these other diatrans fish I've tagged in the past where you get a lot of detections. They're pretty few and far between. So I think that there'll be a lot of value in people working together to pool our data and turn them into something.
Yeah, it'll be really great. There's been a glider that Rutgers has been deploying, and they've been uploading their data into the database. So it'd be really great if that could start picking up, some of these anadromous fish tags that, are kind of off coast that we can't reach with receivers, but the gliders can, pull the weight on that. And CERC also provided some extra receivers to Rutgers to put on some extra gliders. So hopefully we can get some more of those going this year.
I think, is that Micah Kiefer with your hand raised?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. I'm here to kind of give a brief update on what we used to call the Gulf of Maine Sturgeon Researching Group, which for the past 10 years has been kind of a collaborative effort to put sturgeon tags out and also share information. Within the past few years, that effort has kind of diminished due to retirements and principal investigators moving on to new chapters. I'm kind of the last person in the group that's still actively at least planning to deploy tags, but also keeping a finger on the pulse of some of the residual tags that have been left over from those efforts. And I just logged a tag that I tagged 10 years ago. So there's still information to be had, new objectives, and we're currently working with the Navy in the Piscataqua River, and we also did a little consulting for some work in the Kennebec River at the Bath Iron Works. But there's still active sturgeon studies and tagging that's occurring, and we are in the process of investigating the possibility of putting a gate array between the mainland around Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and the Isles of Shoals, because we've documented a routine coastal spawning migration of short-nosed sturgeon from the Merrimack River to go, we think, spawn in the Kennebec River. And so we're trying to weigh the feasibility of perhaps putting a gate across that body of water, just to at least get one data point on what does that migration corridor look like, and is there justification to pursue additional efforts like that? Because of the females that we tagged in the Merrimack River, 80% of them leave the river and go up the coast to occupy known spawning grounds in the Kennebec River. So, I mean, it could be tens of fish, it could be hundreds of late stage females moving up through this corridor, and wouldn't managers like to know a little bit more about that? So, but there was just the pygmy sperm whale came ashore on Salisbury Beach. I know there are right whale warnings at some of the boat launches on the Piscataqua. So I know some of you guys have had experience with setting offshore arrays and avoiding, unfortunate encounters with cetaceans. And, I'm interested in learning as much about that as I can. So I may be tapping into some of this body of information and need professional help. All right. So thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks. Rob, you've got your hand raised.
Yeah, hey everybody, Rob Bordon here with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service in Annapolis. Just want to let the group know that our group started a tagging study of American eel in the Susquehanna River this past summer. We tagged only about 16 eels for a pilot study, and we're monitoring their migration out of the river past 4 major hydropower dams. We do have one array downstream of the lowermost dam right at the mouth of the Susquehanna River, where it leads into the Chesapeake Bay. We already picked up a sturgeon, I think, tagged in North Carolina there. So just looking forward to see where that study leads us, and also if our eels are maybe picked up in some of the other arrays throughout the Chesapeake and maybe out even to the ocean.
Okay, thanks, Rob. Joseph?
Hi, Matt. Thanks. I don't have a strong connection here. I'm going to keep my camera off, but I just wanted to follow up on what Micah mentioned in the Gulf of Maine. I work with the Navy out of Newport, Rhode Island, and I've been working with Maine DMR to expand coverage in the lower Kennebec River, and we also deployed 6 offshore stations off of Popham Beach there. So these are all going to be year-round stations. We do have a download some data from October that I'm going to be working to kind of get out to the folks, and Michael Bryan's going to be helping me out with this project. But yeah, so we're picking up a lot of sharks offshore, and this array will be definitely in place for a few years offshore Kennebec. And Micah, I got to talk to you as well, but we're looking to get out 55 tags this year of short nose in Atlantic tagged in the Kennebec. So so keep an eye out if you got fish tagged in that region, and we're looking forward to being integrated in the ACT network here. So that's all. Thanks.
Great, thanks. Kevin?
Can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to let the group know that folks from NOAA's satellite division, some of our colleagues at NESDIS, are going to be hosting a virtual class this summer for anyone who's doing fish tagging, fish telemetry researchers. It's about matching fish tag location data to ecosystem parameters from satellites. The tentative dates are in like 4 consecutive Wednesdays in July, August. Free class, up to 40 people. And I've got a lot more information about it. I don't want to dive into the details here, but we'll be sending out more information probably in the next month through the ACT network for anyone who wants to attend that virtual class.
Thanks, Kevin. Okay, I don't see any more hands raised at the moment. This is your last chance if you want to share an update. But if I don't see any in the next, 30-ish seconds, we'll wrap things up and send people off to lunch. Okay, well, I'm not seeing any more hands go up or hearing people jump in. So thank you everyone again for participating in the meeting today, for coming and listening to the talks, and especially to our speakers for a lot of really interesting talks on different species and different aspects of telemetry research and the ways that it can inform management. We'll be looking to hopefully share some information soon about thinking about a fall in-person meeting. So we'll be starting to discuss that within the steering committee over the next couple of months and work on that. As a reminder, please, if you have either undergrad or grad students who might benefit from some extra financial support to present at conferences this year, have them apply to the conference award, which is live now on the ACT Network website. Want to thank Maricus again for their support, as well as IUS for funding support. And again, just thanks everyone for a really good meeting today. And if you want to come hang out with Kim and the OTN crew this afternoon to have some questions answered, come back after lunch. But thanks again, and we'll see you all soon.